Welcome, Web3 Media friends, to another I feel like another halftime show, but it's an overtime show. I'm like putting in the extra hours to bring you guys people that I love in the space, people and builders and creators that I think are doing innovative things, as well as projects that are doing and utilizing tools that I think can help us all. And so I'm super excited to welcome INTUBE, leading edge media creator. Welcome, INTUBE.
Hello, GM. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to some discussions and maybe give answers to your questions.
Or we can just gossip a lot and talk about 10K like literally all day. I can talk about 10K like all day. There's so much intricacy to that project.
Yeah, everybody around me knows about 10KTF, even though they don't own any NFTs. So yeah, I'm down to that.
little kids on the street. You're like, would you like some candy? Now let me tell you about Wagmi-san. Well, that's the thing is like you got so passionate about it that you developed 10KTF.WTF, and we're going to highlight that quickly here in a second. But as we're sort of visually looking at it, what got you initially into 10KTF, and why did you stay and build the way that you're building?
The first time I saw the high tops, the Genesis high tops. And I've been collecting a lot of derivatives for my Oni 100 at that time and wanted to build like a huge collection with different artists' derivatives. And of course, these high tops looked very juicy and I had to get them.
It's a good word for it, juicy. They did look pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then I got some socks as well. And then I actually didn't do a lot in the project as I was working on my own NFT project back then and didn't have a lot of time. And after some time, I think it was in 2021 in the summer, I signed a wrong misleading signature. Let's call it like that.
Oh no.
And my NFTs got stolen. The 10KTF NFTs got stolen, and I posted a tweet about that, and that my collection was basically broken now, and I lost these two NFTs. And Michael Figge bought them back, and at that time, I mean, it was very special because we had to deal with all these scams and everything. And experiencing that kind of thing, I mean, he didn't know me. I was just a stranger on the internet, and he paid almost like 1.5 ETH or something to get these items back. And that was really a special moment for me, and very emotional as well. And of course, I tried to give something back, and I thanked him and everything, but it just didn't feel like it was enough. And yeah, from that day on, I was just like 100% 10KTF, because if the leader is a guy like Michael Figge, I mean, the whole project just has to be successful in the end. Good leadership and kind leadership is very important. So and then I realized I've been in a lot of Twitter spaces and realized that people don't have the information presented to them as they would need it to enter the ecosystem. And so I started building the first MVP of the website and wanted to find out if it's any kind of useful.
MVP for those playing here from baseball is not most valuable player, but minimum viable product. So something that basically it functions and it works the way that you envision.
Exactly, and that was basically the first website, and it was super slow and clunky and didn't look like I imagined it to be, but it was just the MVP, and we from that website a lot of things kept going with AMAs, and especially in the German space, in the German 10KTF space, we had a lot of AMAs, and the website really helped to, on the one hand, help to showcase everything and have everything in one place, and on the other hand, to just give people the opportunity to continuously go back to the website. Oh, how much points? Oh, how much of this? How can I do this and that? And
I'm paused here because I feel like it's really connected to your story. Like the first things, amongst the first things we see is this layer of protection, this idea of educating people on how to protect yourself using a warm wallet, using the technology that we knew who, was the creators of 10KTF, of that project, created. And it's one, I think, one of the most valuable pickups that Yuga Labs has in that acquisition, the idea, just the concept of warm wallet, providing, security to a community who does need to engage with the game. So if you're going to be building a huge game, it's the last thing you want to do is be putting your wallet and connecting it, to website after website after website. You look at the Yuga Labs. Oh my gosh, how many websites did we do just to get to Dookie Dash? But having that security and that layer is the first thing. I don't know if you realize that, but it's the first thing that you put up that's so connected to your story with Figgy. And it's funny because a lot of stories of artists sort of blooming, especially last week's as well with Maggie, begin with Figgy.
Yeah, and the funny thing is we actually didn't have this section on the website at the beginning, but then I realized that maybe it's the most important section, actually, as you said, because you have to take care of your assets, of course, self-custody, and the 10KTF NFTs are very valuable. And as you said, if you connect to the website, and there are so many possibilities, you can get scammed. And so I thought, especially because I was also attending the Boring Security DAO lessons, and it really helped me. I mean, I learned a lot about security because I did everything wrong in the beginning. So I did almost every scam and lost a lot of stuff. But basically,
now you're the scammer. You got scammed. Now you're gonna scam.
Exactly. Yeah, and I learned a lot, and just the repetition and everything. And so I thought, okay, let's put that up. And as you said, the warm technology is pretty amazing. And I thought, let's put it there. Let's show the people how they can be safe. So.
And there's just a ton of, we could literally just go through this entire thing. There's so much information, but 10ktf.wtf is the website, and it's great that it's just it's a standalone just website. It's a destination. I'll be linking to it after the show down below, where you can just go. And for me, it was I even just as a quote unquote veteran of the project, it was like really nice to go to because of just the resources available. You talk about the mechanics, the tools, recycling, and then for me, the loadout calculator. I mean, if you're about the missions and the mission season is about to come up, having a loadout calculator, I think, is just so awesome. As you said, coming from the MVP, how much of community feedback played into your design moving forward?
I collected a lot of feedback during the AMAs, so I realized, okay, this section is not at the right place, or maybe people just don't find this information because it's the wrong name for it or something like that. So a lot of that feedback, passive feedback, I call it, went into the new website. And with the loadout calculator, actually, I don't think if a lot of people used it on the old website, but I think a few weeks ago it really ramped up, and I saw a lot of tweets with people posting their loadout scores and everything. So this seems very helpful.
I got a nice score. I got a 651 going into this season. This helped me. During the off season.
Not too bad.
Because during the off season, I was just like, oh, well, if these, and I started to play with the calculations, because you can go in and say, oh, well, if I were to mint, a pair of high tops and I wanted to, to be matching for mine, but I only have a common, okay, it's 660. Or if I could, just buy a pair of socks that were rare, that were not matching, oh, okay, it's pretty, in terms of value, you're like, okay, there's the dollar to cost ratio is it gets a bit clearer, because I think in the beginning, for the first season, I was really just throwing stuff. I was just like, okay, you wear this and maybe you wear this, and oh wait, maybe together is better, and so you kind of didn't know, but this is amazing to have.
Yeah, and the same for me. I mean, if you start small and then it doesn't matter. But if you start collecting a lot of more items and you have a lot of possibilities to put them in the loadout and get the points, something like this really helps. And yeah, the Deutsche Botschaft also got some people there who are also building some cool tools, and we work on that and maybe bring this to the website as well.
So in terms of the sort of the connection to 10KTF, was there a certain point where you sort of reached out and said, hey, I want to build something, or did you receive some sort of notice from them like, hey, we love what you're doing, to develop further? Or was it just the community?
Yeah, I mean, I just started out, so I didn't have any expectations until that one day when someone in the Deutsche Botschaft in the 10KTF Discord told me that the website is now officially linked on the 10KTF official website as a guide. So and then I thought, okay, I hit something there, and maybe they know that it's complex to enter this ecosystem, and the FAQ might not be the perfect place to get the information. And from then on, I started to think about to make it more professional and really work on the website, make it faster and everything. So,
is there a vision for you and what the website could do, or is it just there to service the community right now?
Basically, it's just for the community, and I'm trying to add more value to it. I'm in contact with Bored Ape Security DAO about making additional security stuff, because a lot of people who are entering the project are sometimes also new to Web3 and don't know the security stuff and what to look out for and everything. So maybe we can have a security section for people to learn about security. And
I'm curious about the VIP section. I'm just gonna click on it here. I'm like, I want to be a VIP. How do I be a VIP here?
You just have to ask me, and I'll add you.
I'll
add you. It's
yes. Oh, are these the VIPs? Ooh, this is a good group.
Yeah, this is really funny because I didn't know everyone. So when I started out, I thought, oh, okay, who's that guy? I never heard of them. So, but now I know them. Yeah.
And that's the great part about this community is, we've had IRLs together. We've definitely had a lot of time, and we have, integration in different projects together. And especially since Yuga, became part of the picture, we see a lot of the apes being able to sort of flex in a different way. And so having this thing ready for season, what is it that you're excited about for season 2? Do you have any anticipation?
Well, after the last video with the Unreal Engine blueprints and everything, I think we will see a completely new battle town. And yeah, also with other side and everything, I think this battle town version 1 was just the MVP. Mm-hmm. So, and it's going
minimum,
to be crazy,
and it's like minimum viable product. It was such a basic game, but we all had fun, and we could see it was like we were kind of there for the test and for the beta, and it was very, very simplified, but we still managed to have fun because I think that they leaned into the storytelling, and I think that that's what makes this such a powerful project. Is that they leaned into the storytelling. We didn't care that we were putting imaginary socks on 2D things that we never saw. Just like, but there was points, and then they made sure we rewarded an ape, which was very, very tangible as a reward. And so a lot of momentum going into season 2. I have no idea when season 2 starts. I feel like every week we're all like, oh, it's gonna. I have no idea, but 10KTF.WTF, we're gonna need that.
I remember it was last year when we've been discussing when the season 2 starts, and then everybody, yeah, it has to be in November, and then December, maybe before Christmas, and then no, it has to be January. But
I knew Wagmi-san goes on vacation from last year. I knew that Wagmi-san goes on holiday and he likes to do photos. So I'm just like, he's not doing anything before the new year. But even we're into May now, right? It's crazy.
Maybe season 2 already started and we don't even know.
That's true. We've been on that train, and the train has been rocking. But what I love about this process for you is you're, all I hear is like you giving back to a community that showed you love, a creator that showed you love, and you are creating and providing value for that community. And it just sort of for me connected very beautifully with today's host for this episode, Rare Boy. Here, let me throw up Rare Boy, because Rare Boy, I think, had that same sort of vibe for me, where it's just like, oh my gosh, suddenly there's this Chrome extension here that you can see that went onto your OpenSea, and it told you, oh, you have Epic shoes, or oh, you have Common. Because if you remember the days before that, we'd look at that stupid spreadsheet, and it was like so bad. And like if you wanted to buy, oh, it's the worst. Like, okay, hold on. Wow, number 909 had, and you got to find like in the spreadsheet, which was very, very hard to get through, and then find this stuff. And them providing this extension, for a year, and gone on to do other collections, was astonishing. And you're just like, we were kind of joking before, it's just like, we're like, oh, is this real? Is this like, some sort of scam or something? We're so jaded in this space, but by providing value, you develop trust. And so they've built up enough trust that they're going to be minting a medallion on Tuesday, I believe it is. And so if you just like, comment, and retweet this space, you'll be in the running to win a Rareborn medallion. And so you'll be in the mint list onto the whitelist. And so win at whitelist and share the episode down below. But the great thing is like, I feel like going into this mint, I'm like, yeah, like they've put in so much like, value into the community. They don't even have a mint price. I don't care. Like, I'm just like, whatever it is, I like waitlisted, and I'm like, I'm going to mint this thing, and they haven't even assessed value to it, because they've given so much value to the community. And I see that a lot here with 10KTF.WTF. Is there a sense for you of doing this, of providing, value and trust because you have a greater vision, or is this all just organically coming?
It's just organically coming, and I think also with the Rare Boy stuff, it's funny, because when NFT started, the roadmaps have been huge, and we're building a game and everything, and a lot of stuff has been promised from all the projects. But now it seems like the projects that are building real value are showing what they are building, and they're giving it out for free. And after that, they basically give the community the ability to mint and show their appreciation for the product that has been used for free for over 2 years, or I don't know when Rare came out. But
yeah, no, it's been a while, at least a year. So yeah, this is the thing, is providing, that value, and then like finding. And I think that's what's great about like sort of finding that vision, because you provide the value, you do the thing because you think you can, and you're like, oh, hey, there's something I bring to the table as an artist and as a creator. And we'll step into sort of your next sort of experiment in that. But you find sort of what you can bring to the table as a creator into your community, and then it begins to germinate. I think every guest has the similar experience where it just germinates. You're like, oh, like, okay, they like this, or they quite didn't like this, and you're listening because it's your community. And so they're like, okay, well, I think I can actually do this. And so you can keep growing and growing and build upon that. And so the next thing, what brought you to going from WTF into the on cyberspace?
Well, I did a lot of testing with OnCyber because I thought it's very interesting technology, with being able for everyone to basically customize space and show the NFTs. And what I didn't like about OnCyber was that everything basically looked the same, and it was all just a museum.
It's all galleries,
kind
right?
of style. Yeah, it's just the plain white gallery stuff. And
tip of the hat to the Son here from Cro-Magnus. Well done.
Yeah,
looks nice.
Everyone got those. There's no turning off.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I started to play around with it and try to go through the docs, and it's pretty difficult, or it was difficult in the beginning, because you have to stay very low poly, and also the use of textures is very limited, and and then it kind of makes sense to me why everything is white and very plain. And so yeah, I started to play around with some different spaces, and then I came up with the idea, why not build the craftsman shop? And
Look at me,
maybe
I'm standing where Wagmi-san stands. This is crazy. It's sort of a weird trip just to be like, this is how he would see you every day.
yeah, and that's the funny thing, because I thought we've been through a lot with the story and the burning of the shop and everything, and so I thought this is an emotional piece for everyone, and experiencing it and going inside of it, and also adding the own NFTs to it might be a very cool experience. And yeah, so I started building it and did the mint, and yeah.
Was there I mean, was there a vision for, you know, what this could be? Because you know, and break it down for me. Like I have one of these tokens and I claim it. Is the claiming the token access to the on cyber, or is it my own space?
So if you minted the token, which is the one with the craftsmanship rendering on it, then you can claim this 3D space, and you can populate it with your own NFT. So it's basically your own unique space.
Mm-hmm.
And you also can add the portal at the end on the left. If you go to the left,
Oh, we're about to get into here.
yeah,
That secret back room,
the secret back room,
the VIP room, the champagne room.
yeah, and there's the portal, and you can link to other spaces you own or to spaces of community members. And
Whoa,
we started to do a little train thing where we link to each other's space. So I linked I think I linked to Snoopy Flea. Snoopy Flea linked to Wüsteneagle, and Wüsteneagle linked to Gogeta, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and so I think my best follower for that project was Jelena. She was there every time, and I put out a puzzle game which was like for 2 weeks, and you were able to attend the puzzle and build the puzzle, and then you could have got this for free, actually. And yeah, Jelena did everything.
Yelena is the best. Yelena is, just shout out to Yelena, one of like the best community members out there. She's so rad. She's so engaged and really supports the artists that are doing these things. So shout out to Yelena.
Shout out to Jelena.
And I'm sure she's enjoying her space. So this is what I love about sort of like, you know, the little, it felt like an Easter egg almost, like just like, you know, having this back area. And you're showing off here some Kagamis. What are your theories about Kagamis?
It's just art. And the floor price is way too high because I have to buy another one. Yeah, no, I think it's a special piece. It has to be, you know, if you know Wagmi-san, and if you know 10KTF and everything with the story and so on, I think it's a special piece, and it already is. I mean, I got it here on my PC, and the story is running there 24/7, and I'm always
got mine right there. You guys see it?
Yeah,
right there.
and it's just a feeling of connection also. I mean, if I'm looking at the Kagami, I'm also looking at the community and the story and everything that led to the Kagami. So yeah, I think it's a special piece.
It's an emotional piece, and I think what this reminds me of is I went to the NFT NYC activation, and there was a portal just like this that a mad scientist opened up for us. And so you entered the portal, and it was all foggy. It was very foggy, just like this. So you were going through the portal, and through the portal, it's funny enough, just on the right here, just as exactly as you had them, behind glass were Kagamis, and they were showing though tools, craftsman tools, scissors, thimble. And so it's just like, for me, it's always been about like, from that moment, I was like, you know, of them doing, you know, physical alpha. I'm like, okay, if you have a Kagami, that means you have these tools. This is in my mind. I'm like, okay, you have the ability to craft, perhaps somehow participate, because I love the tools, and I missed out on the tools. I felt like I got priced out of the tools like so quick, because once I was just, oh, you can stake with them, but that's amazing. I love, you know, this ecosystem. And if you've invested early on with those tools, you're going to benefit from that. I think that's a really fantastic thing. And so here's hoping, coming straight from the 893 annals of conspiracy, that they are indeed part of the ecosystem in this very, very cool way. But INTUBE, it's always a pleasure. And I always say, like, I hope that these things aren't, the last time we speak, because you're generating at such an astonishing level. You do so many things. You like, I've challenged the communities to like find, pieces that you've been a part of. But I think some of the ones that stand out for me are Kaku's 3D assets behind him during the shows. That's you, right?
No, I did the Kaku stuff for for his new album, or I think he doesn't call it album, but I do. So the commercial stuff for social media, these animations was like 24 songs, and they all had to be unique in some way, but we didn't have a lot of time. And Ian drew the logos and everything.
Ian Barreto, aka Ian Burritos, one of the top up and coming rising artists in the space.
And so we've been working together on that, and yeah, I did the animations.
And then I believe, okay, I'm gonna try and get every single one of these wrong now. For Oni Force, you did the Oni Lisa. I know you did the Oni Lisa. Didn't you do the Oni Lisa?
Yeah, I did the animation for Oni Lisa, but it was a little bit crazy because it was not a lot of time. Starlord came to me and said, we need animation. Can you do it and everything? And I said, yeah, sure. And when do you need it? Yeah, I need it tomorrow. So
this is a great lead in, I think, to something that we both see coming from sort of the traditional media world, where we have lead times. Like, if I'm doing a project, somebody wants me to do something, I have those lead times. Used to be 8 weeks, but now like 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. You at least have, an understanding of, okay, prep and then like execution. It seems like in this space, it moves really, really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also it's different. If I'm dealing with clients, it's always you're preparing, you have discussions, you show, okay, that's the way we would do it. Do you like it? And then they most of the time say, no, we don't like it. It's too crazy or stuff like that. And then you start building and creating the stuff, and it goes back and forth. And here it's like, oh, I need this and I need it tomorrow. I have to trust you, basically, because there's no time to go back and forth and do reviews and do it all over again. And so it basically was the same thing with Oni Lisa. And he had a rough idea where we would go with it, and I created the animations. But then the big problem was I didn't know that it would have the goal was to go with a real-time AR application. So what I've done was way too big in terms of file sizes. Mm-hmm. And so Tadia, I think she's called, had to do it all over again in her own software. And yeah, maybe mine was just the animatic. So yeah.
That's the thing, is like, you're constantly involved with a lot of projects, and again, offering great value to the projects. I feel like that there's two separate things there. There's offering value to the community, and then there's offering value to projects. And so do you feel that there is, because again, coming from our world, a lot of times there's abuse, from that side, and just like, oh yeah, keep working, keep, give it all, for free, in a sense, give the value, in hopes of, a relationship, etc. Do you find that culture is taking hold here in Web3, and that, any beginner creators should, maybe be aware of or cautious of?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's generally the same. I would say, of course, you have to find the projects and the people you trust. I mean, in the end, it's all about trust and the vision of the project. And I mean, I wouldn't have gone to Sunsound, for example, and offer my work and capabilities if I wouldn't trust these people who are building the project. Of course, there are a lot of projects out there who just don't pay the artists who did the NFTs or who've been working on commercial videos or websites or stuff like that. You hear that every day, basically. But yeah, if you find a product you can relate to, and the project is led by good people, and yeah, you just connect with it, then I think it's a good way to just help building up the project and the company or whatever might evolve from that.
And that's kind of my hope with this show, is to illustrate, the builders like yourselves, so that that's the thing. I think in Web3, the building sort of, while you're showing, while you're growing, concept is an important one, because, we see the value that, people are putting into it. And at the same time, you're building for this particular client, this entity. You're also building for your community. And I think your community sees that. And I think that that's, why I love bringing, people like yourselves to be like, dude, look at this guy. He's like doing all this really fantastic stuff. And so again, I hope this isn't the last conversation we have on air. I'm certainly, going to talk to you quite often, but I want to be kept abreast of, all the great things you're doing. Do you have anything sort of to kind of tease us with in the near future that you're working on that you can share?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy I can share it here. Some guys might have already seen some screenshots of it on my Twitter, but I'm already working on a second on cyberspace, and my plans are to make it more interactive and make it bigger, and also make it more like a piece that the community can experience together. I imagine maybe getting into the on cyberspace and watch the damn show on Thursdays together there, and we can wave and emote and hop on each other or do any
Friends
crazy
on
stuff.
Saturdays.
You're rugging.
Oh, said, or even this show you could be watching, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? You're a VIP now, so
yes, I made the list. Let's go.
Yeah, and I also I don't know if you saw the not NFT NYC event that On Cyber did. There will be a lot of new features coming up for On Cyber Spaces, and so I'm waiting for that, and also like to bring some of these features into the new space.
It's fantastic, because I think that On Cyber does have, I think when we first saw On Cyber, as you said, there was this idea of what it was, and they were showing a lot of galleries, but they were also showing high poly count and very, very higher end graphics than what we were used to seeing, right? And so it's just like, okay, coming from Decentraland, you're like, wow, okay, this is a nice step up. But then you can start to see the idea of these portals, and then, as you said, the connectivity between worlds, I think is very, very powerful as a community building tool, and bringing hopefully, as our assets become more and more 3D, and we can take those assets and put them into these spaces, we can hang out in very, very different and cool ways. So super excited to be looking forward to that, and hope to have you back then, where we can, maybe we'll just do this in On Cyber together.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Absolutely. Would be amazing.
Let's go. Thank you so much, INTUBE.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of